Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, my name is Brandon. I'm with the Rags to Riches community. In fact, I'm the CEO, the CFO, the COO, the Supreme I done told you. And here you are today because you have nothing better to do. For some reason, we got a lot of people in chat here today. I don't get it. I know some of you guys are lurking, some of you guys that hate me, because I created my Hex clone. And you guys are in here watching too, but that's okay. I'm going to give you a pass because this affects all of us, right? This is Hex. This is why we're here. Richard is the one who told us all about this thing. Richard's the one who helped pull us out of the abyss. At least he did me. I can't speak for you guys. So if you're here, that's okay. We need to address some things. We need to address some things. And I think I'm going to kind of make this a standard practice because it's important for people to watch these people who fought our project and then be able to have a rebuttal to it. And the other really cool thing here is I'm going to take all of the hashtags that this gentleman used and I'm going to apply them to this video so people can see both sides and then they can make their own decisions here. So that's important to me. Terrafin, one, what is up, Terrafin? It's been a long time since you've been number one, bro. Good for you. Well done. Elbow coffin facing reality. Outstanding. Dougie Peach, what's up, dude? Yeet, yeet. What's up, Dougie Peach? Barnes or Bust, what's up? Cypher Loke, Hex Matax, Maddox, Hex Maddox. Torin, Sonic Pulse, what's up? What's up? Why you like this? Samantha Kelly in the house. Boom. Hold on. My bad, dude. Hold on. Facing reality. See, I had a computer glitch. My Android operating system is out. Facing reality. Boom. I got you, bro. Got you. Pulse chain Hex game, yo. Do not like the stream. Rags like button will give you a rash. That's a good point. I am a sailor. You got to be careful now. Samantha Kelly, laugh out loud. What is good online ghost? KD, what is up in the house? Yup, K. Yo Humberto Gonzalez. Hello from sunny Miami, sunny South Florida. You know we like it. Isle Height, Red Squirrel, oi oi. D Marino, greetings. Hex on air. Hey, what's up? Yvonne Mandip. Josso, what's up, Josso? Hope all is good, brother. D Marino, subscribe to unsubscribe. Thank you. You know what it's all about. What's up, Rags? TNM and Bullard. David Brunig, what's up, man? Nice to have you in here. Got some TNM folks in the chat, guys. If you don't know about it, text a token. We partner up with the TNM. We got some no coiners in here. Outstanding. CJ Dez, what is up, Rags? Terrafin, here we go again. Magnus Martison from the Arctic Circle, where the reindeer are, and Santa Claus. Come get me, private aliens. Proving gingers have souls with this intro music. Yeah, dude, that intro music hits. You gotta admit, it hits. All right, what's up, Rags Legend? We hated you before the clone, Rags. Well, good. Now you really hate me. Bugs, what's up, family? Red Squirrel, we still do. See, Terrafin knows. Y'all know what's up, man. Laugh out loud, Iron Hex. We got too many people in chat right now. All right, we're gonna get this thing going. All right. We're going to get this thing going. Some people got up from their nap, old mud hog. Man, I know how valuable those naps are for you this time of your life, brother. So that's good. Gunner Boat. Oh, my God. This is out of control. So here's the deal. This came across my desk. If you guys didn't know it, my last video that I did, it was a stream. Actually, it was an article by want5.com about how Richard Hart is a brilliant scammer. Okay. So I decided to kind of take the thing head on and try to dissect it piece by piece, just to provide a different perspective, which I believe to be the truth. And here's what I found. I got this other video up, and it's by this kid. Let me add him. All right. And I'll maximize this too. This guy's like the blockchain guy. I think that's his name. In the description, I put some of his stuff in there too, so you can go say hello to him on Twitter. You can subscribe to his incredible channel as well. And I think what he did, what I found, because the WantFi article is so fresh in my mind, because I did a rebuttal to that last week, I'm pretty sure probably the first 5 to 10 minutes of this dude's video, he pretty much plagiarized most of WantFi.com. I'm pretty sure. Or at least it played a pretty significant role in kind of the argument that he was making against Hex. Now, as you guys are going to see, and this happens often, there's no real facts. There's no mathematics involved in this. It's all hearsay. And we're just going to kind of try to get into this. We're going to set the record straight. Again, sorry, dude, I got to steal your keywords. So when people look for this, they're going to see mine too. I hope you don't disagree with that, right? Hope you don't disagree with that. Let's see here. Which one's bigger, better? All right, we'll do this. So we're just going to take it point by point, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Let me make sure too. Let's do a sound check. Make sure you guys can hear this. I'm doing this live, so I didn't create a video before. So this will be interesting. I've only done this one time, I think, with Alexander Lorenzo. So let's see how it goes. Let me know if you guys can hear this real quick.
A few weeks ago, I got a flyer in the mail for a crypto protocol called Hex.com.
All right. Just, I know there's a little delay, so let me know if you guys can hear that in chat. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Hex Spaniels in the house. What is up, Hex Spaniels? Nate Stakes, what is good in the hood? J Pond, PLSX. Marjan Kari, win Texan, sir. Okay, sounds good. Outstanding. Cool. Outstanding. This kind of hit home to me particularly because like he's taking a pot shot at the bottom of a bull market, and the entire crypto space is hurting. Volatility is the price that you pay for price appreciation, and this guy knows it. Right. And on the surface to me, it was like, okay, he's just kind of new to streaming, this and that. But there were some things that he put in there. Like there were some layers of deception that I kind of noticed and picked apart. It kind of upset me a little bit. I mean, I get it. It's YouTube. You got to create content that's going to sell. I'll tell you this, some of his biggest videos, actually, I think his biggest video, or maybe at least second biggest, out of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 30 or 50 videos, 30 videos maybe, was the Hex.com one that he did. And what you see, a lot of these people, they leech followership, and they leech engagement off of Hexicans, because we are the most engaged, I think, in the crypto world for the amount of people that we have, percentage-wise, absolutely. So, we're going to get into this, and we're just going to take it step by step. I'll start it back over here. And we'll pause, and if I stumble over my words, it's all good, because you guys are going to take it easy on me, right? Yeah, right. Terrifying ain't taking it easy on nobody. Here we go.
A few weeks ago, I got a flyer in the mail for a crypto protocol called Hex.com, advertising what they say is the first blockchain certificate of deposit. Well, being the blockchain guy, I happen to know a little bit about blockchain myself. So I decided to investigate. What I found absolutely blew me away. Not only is this project huge with a market cap of over $19 billion, it seems like they've penetrated farther into the non-crypto world than any other scam that I've ever seen.
Okay, so it seems like they penetrated further into the crypto world than any other scam that you've seen. Okay, we can't really address the term scam, because he thinks he thinks it's a scam. He obviously doesn't know. He just doesn't know. I don't think it is. We're not going to be able to talk about that. I'm going to lay out what I think Hex is, and we're going to let you listen to what he thinks Hex is, and then you guys make a decision here. All right. So the first thing he talks about, he says it's the spam aspect. Okay. And he shows these articles. Now, this is what I wanted to point out, right? If you see the picture of the taxi cab down here, it's a taxi cab with a hex wrap. It says 11,500%. If you see the picture up here, it looks like it might be in like an airport, or maybe like a train, like I don't know, some type of station of some sort. You're also going to see this. It says 11,500. And then also you see like an article in a magazine here. Now, because I did WantFi last week, WantFi.com's hit piece on Richard, it's very interesting that these are the exact same type of things, same three things. Actually, I think this is the exact same picture. I think that this might be the exact same picture. I don't think the magazine article is, but that was the first thing that said, okay, wait a minute. These ideas are probably not his own. He's virtue signaling to crypto at large. He wants to get followers, and that's kind of what this is. So we'll keep going here. But I also wanted to let you know, guys, these types of things, all you have to do is do a Google search, put Bitcoin taxi advertisement. Okay. Put Dogecoin taxi advertisement, put FTM taxi advertisement, put Voyager taxi advertisement, put crypto.com taxi advertisement, Doge, Floki, SHIB, all this stuff. Guys, this is par for the course. There's nothing wrong with a community member creating an advertisement. The point that he makes this entire time is that it's Richard Hart doing this. It's not Richard Hart. There's no centralized entity when it comes to this. This is decentralized finance. Now, all that other stuff typically isn't. But all of this, everything that he's pointing out, it's purposefully misleading. He used the words half truths. That's what he's doing right now.
In crypto. And when I say scam, I'm not just talking about something that I consider a bad investment like Dogelon Mars. I'm talking about a protocol that was specifically designed as an unsustainable Ponzi scheme to price the pump early, to drive new users in, and then to have the price dump after all of these new users have locked up their money.
Okay, so he's getting into it. He's trying to make his case here. It's specifically designed to be a Ponzi scheme. Okay, you're going to pile in new users. He says shady marketing tactics. You're going to get people in, and then it's going to dump, and everybody's going to be wrecked. He obviously has no clue. He didn't actually go into what Hex is. He doesn't understand. And again, these are a lot of the same words as the wantfi.com article, which is why I think it's important. By the way, if you are a content creator, you need to, in my opinion, you need to go ahead and get on this stuff. You need to create content with this stuff. Use the same keywords that they're using so your stuff comes up with it. Because if not, nobody gets a second opinion. People's attention at times, their attention spans are very, very short. All right. So we're going to get into this. He goes into it.
What's more, the founder of Hex.com, Richard Hart, is exactly what you'd expect from a billionaire crypto con artist, but more. He's bought the world's largest.
I would ask you, how many billionaire crypto con artists do you know other than Duquan who actually did something horrible? Okay. Was Mashinsky a billionaire? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure Duquan was, though. But like, what do you expect? Do we have billionaire crypto con artists out there? I don't know. Why are you calling Richard one? Well, let's find out why. You'll tell us.
Largest diamond, has a watch collection worth over $5 million, and knows how to solve all the world's problems, from how to reduce military spending to how to cure a hangover.
Do you know how to reduce military spending? Do you have any ideas or opinions about how to fix schools? Do you have any ideas or opinions on how to fix democracy? I have opinions on that. I have opinions on how to fix schools. I've talked about it extensively. I've got opinions on how to fix democracy. I know how to give better apologies based on what Richard talked about. Completely agree with it. Do what you already know you should. Absolutely. Prevent hangovers. Yeah, that'd be great. That's kind of cool. Can you imagine the stuff? Now, I'm sure he doesn't watch Joe Rogan. You don't watch Joe Rogan, right? Because if this is Joe Rogan using crypto, you'd be putting something about DMT here to make your case. This is the stereotypical crypto billionaire scam artist, apparently. You can't talk about reduced military spending, fixing schools, fixing democracies, giving a better apologies. Do what you already know you should, prevent hangovers, or promote medical research. That's horrible. What a scammy thing to say. Gosh, Richard, you can't be talking about these things. Disgusting.
We know all of these things because he tells us all of these things on his website, which is linked from the front page of Hex.com. In this video, I'm going to outline why the economics of this project are doomed to fail. I'm going to expose why almost everything about this project, from its mailing address to its audits, are intentionally
doomed to fail. Doomed to fail. Okay, because a person is going to doom it to fail, right? He provides, here's a teaser here. He provides no factual evidence to back up anything that he says, but I will, but he doesn't. Again, I think he's just pulling off of everybody else's stuff. Virtue signaling. He's got a nice little cute little face. The girls are going to come to him. The guys are going to come to him. He's going to get invited on these interviews. He's going to say all the right things. They're going to laugh about Richard Hart, while they get freaking wrecked in the bull market. And we're going to talk about the project that he's shilling right now, or shilled like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 days ago.
Misleading. And we're going to talk about the shady history of its founder, Richard Hart. Or should I say Richard Schuler, which is actually his real name.
Richard Schuler, dun, dun, dun. It's nothing new. Nothing new, dude. Come on, dude. If you've watched any amount of videos, he talks about this constantly. His name is all over the internet. Everybody in the whole world knows. You're not special. You're not saying anything new. He's not holding it back. There's nothing special about what you said. Half truths they don't even have to be spoken. They can be inferred. You just inferred that you just did something miraculous. You did nothing miraculous.
If you enjoy learning about crypto, hit that subscribe button to join us on this Web3 journey.
Hey guys, unlike this wrecked pleb, do not like, comment, or subscribe on any of my content. And I just want to point out, I've got like 7,500 followers telling people to do not like, comment, or subscribe. Can I just point that out? So go ahead and subscribe to him. Do what he says. Just give him a cookie here. Come on.
And if you want to prevent more people from falling into this scam, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Before we get into how this scam actually works, let's take a few steps in the shoes of a potential new investor. And there are a lot of these potential new investors because one thing that Hex is very clearly focusing on is onboarding new users, which makes sense because the founder was one of the first people successfully sued for spam in 2002.
Wait, okay. He just said Hex is focused on onboarding new users, which makes sense because Richard Hart is the spam king. Guys, this is gonna be, it's a 12-minute video on his end. This might be long. This might be a long night. Okay. So let's let him keep talking here.
But more on that later. Today, Hex.com has a sponsored NASCAR.
Okay. Actually, we got to get into this. Okay. Richard Hart has been doing business for 20 years. He's had a car stereo store. He's had mortgage companies. He had a miracle cleaner company. He had a sex toy company. Where are all the complaints, right? Where are all the complaints? Where else has he been sued? Where is it? Show me. Show me online. Show me the internet. Richard was one of the first people in the world to get sued for spam in Washington State, in Seattle, actually. They had just passed the law. It was $500. He's 19 years old in Seattle, Washington. Small claims court. His lawyer couldn't even go to small claims court. You have to represent yourself. Okay? He paid the $500. It wasn't worth his time to show. So he defaulted, right? He lost $500. And now you're accusing him of being the biggest spam king in the world? Are you freaking kidding me? My last sales job, dude, I should have millions of dollars of spam charges against me. My last sales job. I'll just say that right now. My real estate hustles, my investments, direct mailers, text messages, phone calls. But don't take it from me. How about this? Popular U.S. pizza chain Papa John's faces a $250 million class action lawsuit for blasting customers with illegal text messages. Papa John's is a scam. Guys, Papa John's is a scam. It's unsatisfactory. Papa John's is, hold on. Papa John's is being sued for $250 million. Richard Hart got sued for $500 back when the law first passed. Richard Hart still is actually the spam king, even more so than Papa John's. Even more so than Papa John's. Just make sure you guys realize that. JP Morgan Chase Bank must defend itself over unwanted spam calls. JP Morgan Chase spam calls? Wait, is that what happens in business in America? Well, what about in Europe? What about in China? What about these? Do people actually spam calls and text messages? It's freaking wild. HSBC Bank pays $2.4 million to settle class action lawsuit over spam calls. Wow, HSBC Bank, that's big. $2.4 million they settled. Wow. But Richard Hart, $500. Richard Hart's the spam king. Legacy Finance, they have a pass. This happens all the time over there. It is what it is. Okay. Stamps.com? You freaking kidding me? They got class action lawsuits for spam? Stop it. You ginger crazy fool. You've got to be kidding me right now. Wow. In fact, you guys can go to danhatesspam.com. You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot about people who've been sued for spam, right? I could have been sued. You could be sued. Anybody could be sued. So here's Richard, 19 years old, spam king. And that's the point you're going to make because you're trying to frame this in such a way that makes him look like a really bad person because it makes the rest of your video jive so well. And that's what you're doing right now. You're probably in chat because I invited you and tagged you on Twitter. Hope you're watching this. And here's the thing. I'm going to hit back. If you're going to trash our community and you're going to trash us, you're going to trash this protocol that you know nothing about, you're not going to be honest about it, I got to hit back. You understand that. You get it. Okay. You'd probably do the same thing, or maybe not. I don't know if you would. Let's keep going.
NASCAR car they've been on is onboarding new users, which makes sense because the founder was one of the first people successfully sued for spam in 2002. But more on that later. Today, Hex.com has a sponsored NASCAR car. They've been sending...
Oh my God, a sponsored NASCAR car. You've got to be freaking kidding me. A sponsored NASCAR car? Wait. Okay, Sponsor NASCAR. Bitcoin had a sponsored NASCAR car. FTX had a sponsored NASCAR car. Voyager. Let's Go Brandon Coin had a sponsored NASCAR car. Crypto.com had a sponsored NASCAR car. Dogecoin had a sponsored NASCAR car. What? SHIB? What? But Hex can't do it. Everything that's par for the course out there, Hex isn't allowed to do it. Why? It's not that they can't. It's just that you're framing this in such a way to be very untruthful to your following, right? It's unsatisfactory. You're going to get called out on it. It's going to be embarrassing for you. I frankly hope that you take this video down. I hate to even give you views on it, but got to do it, man. Got to do it. You can't just let this stuff slide. All right, so let's see what he's got next. I'll go 5 seconds back and go.
But more on that later. Today, Hex.com has a sponsored NASCAR car. They've been sending flyers in the mail to everyone, and they've been placing advertisements touting the Hex token's 11,500% price increase everywhere you can imagine, from subway stations to The Economist. So let's just...
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So again, he's going to start framing this in such a way that it's Richard doing it. There's some company that's doing that. When it's the collective efforts of the people who are holding the token that are going to do it, and everybody else in crypto does this too, and there's nothing illegal about it. Okay? If you do understand what the Howey test is, which I'm going to assume that you probably don't, you would understand that it would be very crippling for a centralized entity such as Hex.com under an LLC or whatever the case may be to have any type of marketing efforts. That's probably not, it's probably not a good thing. Not paying for marketing efforts, direct mail, text messages, things like that. However, the users are fine to do that. They're just spreading the word. They're using their outsized returns. Now, if you check the thumbnail, outsized returns, it might not be in your vocabulary. Check the thumbnail, you might understand it more. It's actually an intelligence curve. We call it the midwit intelligence curve, and there's a reason for it. Now, to be completely transparent with you, I was you. Okay, dude. Now this is where I connect with you, make you feel good and things like I was you at one point in time. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. But I broke through it and actually did my own research. And I didn't listen to wantfi.com, which you plagiarized. Didn't do it. So I would encourage you to take a look, because right now it's the best time in the last couple of years. Best time in the last couple of years, buddy. Best time. All right, let's get into this here though. He's talking about he says there's no centralized entity. I said there's no centralized entity doing this with Hex. People love this protocol. They take it upon themselves. Now, he says something about Hex going up 11,500%, which is also in the WantFi article.
To everyone, and they've been placing advertisements touting the Hex token's 11,500% price increase.
Now, 11,500%. That seems like a lot, right? It seems like a crazy amount. You guys realize it's a whole lot more than that? You guys realize it's a whole lot more than that? A whole lot more than 11,500%, buddy? Does that make it a scam? Does it make it a scam? What about Bitcoin? I'd like to point out that Bitcoin's up 1.6 million X, probably actually more. Is that your hint that this is a scam? What about Ethereum from the pre-sale? What about Phantom or Cardano or SHIB? What about SHIB? Is that a scam because it's up? Is that why? All these things are bad. You can't be up. You can't market. You can't do what everybody else is doing. You have this preconceived notion that Hex is a scam. And to this very point, you have provided nothing, evidence, concrete, factual, no evidence whatsoever.
Everywhere you can imagine, from subway stations to The Economist.
Guys, look at my last video. Actually, I'll probably put it in the description. I break this down. There's just so many projects that are doing this. What about Legacy Finance? What about the people that show up in your email, or show up in a text message, show up on a phone call? Financial advisors who it's their literal job to reach out to you and try to sell you products from the Legacy Finance system. Is that a scam, or is that legitimate? Is that a scam, or is that legitimate? Right? Oh, and guess what? They take a cut. You know what Hex does? Hex doesn't give people cuts. It's you in the contract. It's not a centralized entity. That's that simple. Hex, but apparently people can't band together, people who hold this asset, and put advertisements in magazines. Trash.
product. So let's just say that you're a potential investor that gets one of these flyers advertising Hex.com in the mail. One subtle thing that you may notice is that the return address is at 99 Wall Street. Well, obviously, if a firm is selling a financial product and they have an address on Wall Street, they're probably legitimate, right? The only problem is a quick Google search shows that anybody.
Okay. At this point, when I saw him go into this, he did a quick Google search. He put 99 Wall Street. At that point, I knew he's a little bit naive about how the world works. Okay. So I will give him that. I'm not going to bash him for this, but it's just it's another thing that he can twist and make it to his own point. Return address is actually not even required. I could write a letter to somebody right now in the envelope. I don't have to put a return address. You realize that. But even if I did put a return address, let's talk about examples. Let's talk about examples of things that are on the front of envelopes, just for the hell of it. All right. And this is from the post office too. The return address is not required on postal mail. It's not required. However, lack of a return address prevents the postal service from being able to return the item if it proves undeliverable, such as from damage, postage due, or invalid destination. Such mail may be otherwise, it might become dead letter mail. So it goes away. So let's give you an example. Examples of things that you see on envelopes when you become old enough to receive mail. I don't know if you get mail yet or not. That's not a dig. You just seem young. And I didn't really start getting a lot of mail probably till my late 20s, early 30s. I don't know how old you are. So here's one thing. How many of you guys have seen verified mail with red letter stamps on the front of your envelope? Is that a scam? No, they're trying to get you to open it. That's what's happening here. Okay. What about urgent? Have you ever seen anything on the front of envelopes that says urgent, even in the in the return on the return label? Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it all the time. What about time sensitive? Have you seen that on the front of an envelope? What about patent pending stamped? Have you seen that? I've seen one of those. I've seen patent pending on the front to get you to check it out. What about urgent? Have you seen urgent? Have you seen act now? You may lose your rights. I've seen all those. I've seen those on envelopes. You guys probably have too. Most of you have. Important time sensitive offer inside. Have you guys seen those? I've seen those. What about the see-through envelopes that say pay to the order of? You guys like those? You get all excited. You're like, oh, I got a check. Boom. And it has like, whatever. It says $233,000.58. Pay to the order of Brandon Davis. Call this number now to see if you qualify. And you're like, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Do you understand that that's what this is? It's direct mailers. There's a whole industry about direct mailers. That's what happens here. This is nothing to do. It's a marketing technique. The direct mailer folks are probably the ones who created that for them, because I've dealt with these businesses before. I've gotten the lists. I've gone to these people and they design the front. They do these things. You give them the information you want on there, boom, they hit it. So for you to make your viewers think that this is out of the ordinary, this came from Richard Hart. This didn't come from Richard Hart, bro. It's just another person out there in the world. That's just the bottom line. Let's keep going.
Including you can get a prestigious New York City office address at 99 Wall Street for just $19.98 a month. So obviously this fake address on its own does not mean the project is a scam, but it does show us that everything is not as it seems with Hex, and that
you're being so disingenuous because you're equating that to Richard Hart. Okay. He didn't send those out. Anybody can send those out. You got to understand that. People are doing their own work and pumping their own bags. You're taking one example from somebody who knows what holder of Hex did that. Who knows? Imagine this. I bet there's some things out here. People who hate Hex, they could send out a postcard too. Can you believe that? They could send a postcard too. They could put some crazy stuff on there that's not true to get press and get attention. They could, to damage the brand. That's what's happening. It's just, come on, dude. You gotta be honest, man. All we ask for is people being honest. If you have legitimate questions, then bring them to the forefront. Don't put this garbage, non-factual BS out there and to frame everything in this la-la land. I don't know how to say it.
It may be worth diving a little deeper on their claims rather than taking them at face value.
Oh, you're going to do that.
The next one of those claims is the actual specific product that they're offering. which is a certificate of deposit. Now, Wikipedia defines a certificate of deposit as a financial product commonly sold by banks and credit unions in the United States. They're different from savings accounts because you have to lock your money, but like savings accounts, they're insured by the FDIC for up to $250,000.
Okay. Let him finish. Hold on. Okay. This is funny, guys. The devil is in the details here. He starts reading this. He says a certificate of deposit is a time deposit, a financial product commonly sold by banks. He leaves out thrift institutions, I noticed, and I was curious why he did that. I didn't really come to a conclusion, but there's always a reason. And credit unions in the United States. CDs differ from savings accounts in that, and then what he does, he fails to mention, and we'll listen to this again.
Like savings accounts, they're insured by the FDIC for up to $250,000.
He doesn't really talk about the lockup periods, which I thought was very interesting. And here's the problem. If he talks about the lockup periods, now let me make sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I want to.
They're different from savings accounts because you have to lock your money. But like savings accounts, they're insured by the FDIC for up to $250,000.
Okay, so he says they're different from savings accounts because you have to lock your money, but they didn't tell you the amount of time that you had to lock it. He also didn't tell you that there was a penalty involved in breaking that promise to the bank. He didn't tell you anything about that. And he didn't read the last sentence, which is the bank expects the CD to be held until maturity, at which time they can be withdrawn and interest paid. So he's already framing this argument. He says he's already framing this in such a way to say that Hex is nothing like a CD. So we're going to kind of go over these things here real quick.
$50,000. In return for locking your money with the bank, they'll give you interest. The reason why they pay you interest.
Okay, we're not going to go into that for a second. Let's talk about this. We say it's a certificate of deposit on the blockchain. Okay, that's the best way to describe this function because there is a lockup period similar to that of a CD, and at the end of that lockup period, you do receive interest. You receive yield, whatever you want to call it. So, can you lock up your Hex and receive interest? Yes. Can you lock up your US dollars in a CD and receive interest? Yes. Can you put your US dollars in a CD and earn price appreciation? Well, you'll be lucky to. Your dollar is still going to be worth $1. I'm going to say that's a no. Okay, you're not going to get any price appreciation off US dollar these days. Can you keep your Hex liquid outside of staking and earn price appreciation? Well, you can do that. Okay. So you can't keep your US dollars liquid in a CD. It's locked up. You can do that with Hex. You can do both. And it's important to point that out. It's actually important to point out, I think I looked today, it was like 9.68% of people actually are staking. There's like 91% of people who aren't, but you won't hear that on here because he doesn't want to tell people that. He's framing this in such a way that makes it sound really, really bad. Does a CD have a lockup period? Yes, a CD has lockup periods. Does Hex have lockup periods? Yes, Hex has lockup periods. Does a CD have penalties for breaking the lockup commitment? Yes, it does. Does Hex have penalties for breaking the lockup commitment? Yes, it does. Is Hex insured by the FDIC for $250,000? No. Is Bitcoin insured by the FDIC for $250,000? No. What about Ethereum? No. Since Hex and CDs are so much alike, CDs must be a scam. Hex is a scam. They're a lot alike. Naturally, CDs are scams too, right? Is that the line of logic that we're using here? I mean, is that what we're doing here? Okay. So he goes on to say that Hex is nothing like a CD, but I just took you through about 9 or 10 examples of a way that we use words to describe what a thing is. A way to use words to describe what a thing is. Let's hear how he frames this. Let's see what he does here. And I'm going to break him down on this bank thing too, because I've explained this many times. Richard's explained it. I'll go in a little bit more detail.
Is because they do what banks normally do with your money, lend it out to others. The yield or interest that you are getting from a traditional certificate of deposit is coming from the borrower that the bank turns around and lends your money to.
Wrong. That's incorrect. Why do banks pay you interest? They take your deposits as collateral. They use it to take out loans. You got $100,000 in there, they're going to take out a loan on that $100,000. Who do they take it out? A bigger bank or the Federal Reserve? Cheap money. That's what they're doing. So they take your deposit as collateral. They use it to take out loans with bigger banks or the Federal Reserve. They then use the money they borrowed to sell financial products to their customers. Why in the hell would they try to lend out $100,000 when they have access to other people's money and they could 10x that? They could get access to $1 million. They only have to pay the bigger bank or the Federal Reserve 1.65, 1.75%. And they only have to pay you 1.75% for locking your $100,000 up for 5 years at 1.75%. They're paying nothing. They're paying like maybe 2%, right? 2% total on $1,100,000. It's actually $1 million. That's how it works. And again, you're telling people something that is not true. Now, it's a common misconception, so I'm going to let it fly. I'm going to let it fly. Most people don't know that. You need to look it up. You need to learn about how that works, man. If you're going to be in crypto and you're going to be the blockchain guy and you know a little bit about blockchain, you need to learn how that part works, especially with regards to how it moves the crypto markets, how legacy finance moves the crypto markets. The Supreme, I done told you, has spoken. Very small amount of deposits are actually lent out because there's so much more lifting power if you can use OPM. Your money is on the liability side of the ledger, not an asset. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Actually, you know what? Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Here's what we'll do. Shoot me your Wall Street address. I'll send you a copy when you create your first Hex stake. I'll send you a free copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is that a deal? Just hit me up. Let me know. The truth is, Hex is actually most similar to Bitcoin. That's the truth. It's not most similar to a CD, but there are a lot of similarities, and that's how we describe it. That's how it would click in somebody's mind. It's not a giant leap of logic to understand that, but you can frame this in such a way that proves your point instead of telling the truth.
When it comes to Hex.com's certificate of deposit, it's really not a CD at all, except the loosest, and I really mean the loosest interpretation of the word.
When you put your coat at a coat check, you get a receipt, which is a certificate of deposit. You deposited your coat at the coat check.
Obvious.
And he gets to pick that apart. He doesn't talk about the conversation before. He doesn't talk about the conversation after. If you look at that pink-haired dude, Richard Hart talking. What's his name? The Real Kevin or something? I don't remember his name. He goes into extreme detail about what it actually is and how it does mimic some of the functions of a CD on the blockchain. Now, if you don't like that, here's some more. Guys, shameless plug incoming. If you don't like it, if you're one of those like hex clone people, the Texan's a hex clone, just shut your ears so you don't freak out and start crying. If you don't like that, check out the endowment token, bro. Bitcoin, dude, you should check out Texan.cc. Go there right now. I want you to do a video of mine, please. Please do a video, man. Okay, next. Let's keep going here.
Obviously, when they use the word certificate of deposit, they know that investors are thinking of the very safe and secure investment that their local bank offers. But looking at the actual Hex.com product, that couldn't be far.
Uh-oh. All right, we rugged. Hold on. We rugged. Get this thing back up. Let's go to here. It's got a history. You lucky we rugged too, man. You were lucky. We were getting down and dirty there for a second, man. I was on a roll. It's all right. We're good. All right, here we go. I'll pause it. I'll let the ad play. I'm going to share this freaking rug. Rug pulled. Alan Fizame says, yeah, I'm an endowed token. All right. Dude, don't say that, man. That kid's young. He doesn't need to be seeing that garbage on here, guys. Come on. Be a little bit more respectful. All right. Biggest scam in the world. No, that's me. We don't want me. We want this. Who is this? No. Jonathan, he's 49 years old, and I don't know. What's he do, dude? He's got white New Balances. All right, here we go. We back in business. Let's go back a little bit. And we'll maximize. Maximizo. That's not a Spanish word. That's cultural appropriation. I'm sorry.
That their local bank offers. But looking at the actual Hex.com product, that couldn't be farther from the truth. We'll get to how the certificate of deposit actually works in a minute. But first, let's take a look at one more of their half-truths that has cause for concern. Their audits. When I was browsing Hex.com's website, I was very curious to learn about the supposed audits that they've had, both on the security of their smart contracts and financial audits on their protocol. The nice thing about audits by crypto security firms is that they're public and you could read them for yourself. After glancing through the security audits, there was nothing really of note there, but it's worth mentioning that security audits don't actually mean anything about whether or not the project is a scam.
You are lying. Okay, I'm going to pause you right there. And here's how I know. A, because you never created your own project. You never actually had to do a security audit. I've had to do a security audit. In fact, you can go to our website. You can go check out the security audit. You can go check out Hex's security audit, hex.com. Okay, you just do hex.com security audit CoinFabric. You can check it out. Okay. He's telling people that in the security audit, they aren't checking for things that could actually wreck people or rug people. That's the point that he's trying to make here. Okay, I get what he's saying, but he's completely wrong because he hasn't looked at security audits before. He's going off of the WantFi article. That WantFi article spawning all these little demons out into the world. Security audits, they also look out for functions that serve to steal money or redistribute in a nefarious way. And it shows that you don't understand about that. But you can take a look. You can take a look at Hexes. You can take a look at Texans. And I know personally because I paid $30,000 some for that thing. They do look out for that. They're not going to put their stamp of approval on this if they know it's an outright scam. They're just not. And so what you just said was a lie. Two security audits. Now, what he is saying is the truth on the economic side. They hired these folks to ensure that longer actually does pay better, because that was a big thing back then. That was a big point of contention for a lot of folks. And they wanted to make sure that everybody felt okay with that. CoinFabric's developers talk to Hex's developers. And if you look at the language in there and you actually look and dig in and see how that goes, they are very confident in Hex. They said it's at the very end. They said it's pretty much it's very well put together. It's coded very well. It's organized very well. It's good to go. I'm going to just say this right now. What you just said, the words that just came out of your mouth that I pause you on, that's factually incorrect. 100%. And just because you read it from wantfi.com doesn't make it right.
There are plenty of crypto scams out there that wouldn't trip up a security audit. Think about a slot machine at a casino. A security audit might assure you that the slot machine was working as intended, but that intended behavior is to take money out of your pocket. But if
we talked about it, guys. We talked about it.
Any kind of crypto savvy economist took a look at Hex.com, I would expect them to immediately write it off as a Ponzi scheme.
A Ponzi scheme. Do you know what a Ponzi scheme is? Do you have any idea what that is? Do you know what a Ponzi scheme is? You don't, because it keeps coming out of your mouth and you keep dropping the ball over and over and over. It actually makes you look dumb. But here's how this goes down. You're going to say Ponzi scheme. And then what you're going to go on to do, just like everybody else does, you're going to go on to prove that everything in the world is a Ponzi scheme. Your perfect little Lido token that you're going to show here in just a little while, I'm going to show for you. Your Lido token, Bitcoin, Ethereum, stocks, security, everything. It's all a Ponzi scheme based on, wait for it, based on the definition and parameters that you're going to give us. Now, I'm going to tell you what a Ponzi scheme is. I'm going to educate you and your listeners with all due respect. Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that pays existing investors with funds collected from new investors. It pays existing investors with the funds collected from new investors. And like I said, if you're like everyone else, you're about to make the case that everything's a Ponzi scheme. Let's see.
So why exactly was a firm willing to put their name on a financial audit saying that Hex.com was okay? And the answer that we have to that is in the very first paragraph of the actual financial audit by CoinFabric. CoinFabric was only paid to audit a very specific economic mechanism within the Hex.com protocol. The audit says that
3 audits. He's talking about this extra one that was paid for to verify that longer pays better. There's nothing wrong with this. Absolutely nothing wrong. I'm going to point out something else here too. Do you think that other people have evaluated Hex's investment a whole lot smarter than you or a whole lot smarter than I? You do realize that everyone in the world can see every function of Hex They can see it all. They can see the code. Very, very smart people. At this point, it's survived for 2.5 years. You realize that if there was a vulnerability economically in this contract, your Bitcoin bros, your sweethearts, they would have uncovered it already and they'd be all over it. You do realize nothing is a secret. Nothing. It's all out there. It's all out there actually for you to see, and you have done nothing but spout hearsay. Nothing. I don't think you understand how Hex works. In fact, I know you don't. And we're going to talk about that because you tried, but you didn't really try. You want FIDE. You want FIDE.com. Our furry little friend Ryan over there, Ryan Maestro, whatever his name is. You do realize that Hex derivatives have been created, and those developers are very privy to the inner workings of Hex. Shout out to Hedron, folks. Shout out to Icasa and Hedron. Shout out. Y'all don't think Alex is smart? I don't know who you friggin' think is smart. But here you are providing unsubstantiated, factless claims that involve nothing about the code whatsoever or the economic viability. But you're willing to tell people that if an economist took a look at this, I'm willing to bet, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. You've got nothing. You don't understand how the Hex contract works, but we're going to teach you.
That in particular, we were asked to verify that longer stakes pay better than shorter recompounding stakes. That's it. It's not even.
Why is that? Why should longer pay better? Why would that need to be? Because it's a pretty big backbone of how the Hex contract works. You're incentivized for holding up the price. We use the transaction layer for Ethereum. Okay. We don't have miners, but our token inflates. How do we divvy out inflation? We pay inflation to the people who are staking, which is only 9.76% of the people out there. That's how the token inflates. How else do you want the token to inflate? How else? You know how tokens can inflate in other protocols? I've seen tokens inflate because you've done a workout. I've seen tokens inflate because you rode a bicycle. I've seen proof of work systems very similar to Bitcoin with people riding bikes around town. How do you choose to divvy out your inflation? Well, Hex does it in a brilliant way. It gives it to people and it incentivizes people to hold up price. That's what it does. You say there's no utility to this thing. You're going to bash Hex. You're going to bash him. But you're going to take your little Lido token, okay? Complete admin keys here. You're going to give your money to somebody else. You're going to give your crypto to somebody else. They're going to turn it into a wrapped product. It's not even the real thing. And they're going to take your money. They're going to go try to make money with it. And here's the funny thing too. You told people in one of your articles, you're telling people this and you're trashing Hex when it is completely immutable code. It cannot be changed. The token that you're espousing right now, it absolutely can be changed. With Hex, it's you in the contract. With the token that you're talking about, it is not you in the contract. They can actually delay you even pulling your own tokens back out. What happened? What happened with the run on Luna? And these people had essentially wrapped their tokens to work in their ecosystem. Well, they used those tokens and got leveraged out and got destroyed. You say, oh, that didn't happen. I got it from their Twitter. I saw it. So you're the type of person that thinks you know crypto, but you don't know crypto. You're the type of person that likes projects that are able to be changed after they're launched. Hex, you cannot change it. There are no administrative keys. None. Can't do that. Your token they can. You want to give you want to give people trust. You want to give a third party your tokens because you believe that you're picking up pennies in front of freight trains is worth it. Your 7%, your 8% on your Solana or whatever you're going to be using. And you're telling people that that's okay until it gets hacked, until the bridges get hacked, until the protocol gets hacked, until one of the developers runs off with the money or somebody finds a vulnerability and steals all your stuff. And then what are you going to do? It's not FDIC insured, $250,000, right? You're wrecking your people. Hex.com users are unaffected. We're winning harder than anybody. You got to understand that. And I don't expect you to understand because you haven't done your research. But I would encourage you to do your research.
Evaluating Hex.com as an investment, nor is it trying to. They were specifically instructed to focus on this one tiny detail, which means nothing about the value of the Hex tokens or about the value of Hex as an investment. So why am I so convinced that this project is a scam? After all, if you go to their website, they have a section titled scam ? Which clearly states Hex is not a scam.
Okay, so it's definitely a scam because on the Hex website it says scam ? Now, did you go a little bit further? Did you show people what it said? The word scam is used to have an FAQ section about crypto, about Hex, about a lot of things. You didn't show that. That certainly got you to click though. But once you clicked, you stopped there. Now just imagine this happening tens of thousands or hundreds or thousands of or millions of other times with other people. They're going to click that and they're going to go through and read, but you don't want to do that because you're framing this in such a way that doesn't allow that. One of the FAQs asks if Hex is a Ponzi. And that's for people like you, but you didn't read it, so I'm going to help you out here. Is Hex a Ponzi? You do not receive more Hex from a person or from the investment of new users. I'm going to repeat that. You do not receive more Hex from a person or from the investment of new users. You receive more Hex from a smart contract that is designed to give Hex inflation to the people who stake. Some people receive inflation on smart contracts because they work out. Some people receive inflation because they validate the network. Some people receive it because they ride around town on a motorcycle or a bicycle, a bow-cycle. Inflation in a network is used to incentivize people. You get that? What better way to incentivize than to give people who stake, which is a small amount, that inflation? How do you think Bitcoin inflates? Why does Bitcoin inflate? You have miners who are incentivized to protect the network. So that's the mechanism of which Bitcoin releases more Bitcoin in the ecosystem. And then what do the miners do? They don't hold price up. They dump price to pay for overhead costs. Right? That's how that works. You know how that works. You're the blockchain guy. I happen to be the blockchain guy, right? Let's go.
Do you know the safest, simplest, and most scalable crypto trading method?
Oh, God.
Where you can make passive income without having to do all the work of trying to
No, Jonathan.
In order to understand why Hex is a scam, it's important to understand just a teeny tiny bit about economics beforehand. Let's just say that you're in a small village of 100 people that only has 10 ovens. These ovens are in high demand, and if you want to buy one, it'll cost you $1,000. Now let's say that everyone in the neighboring village, another 100 people, moved into your village but did not bring any ovens with them. While the new price of an oven will depend on a lot of different things, we know for certain that with a higher demand, the same supply, that the price of an oven will increase. This is exactly why Hex focuses so much on advertising and bringing new investors into the fold.
Oh my gosh. It's so hard, man. It's difficult. I think this was the thing that made me think of the thumbnail that we were using. Recruiting new investors. If you want a stock price to go up, you need a person to purchase the stock after another purchases the stock. Person A purchases, then person B purchases. So you focus heavily on advertising and sales to make investors more confident. Okay, you have more financial activity. So they go buy your stock and the stock goes up. There's no overhead with Hex. It's just you and the smart contract. You have to have other people buy. That's why there's advertisements. That's why there's advertisements in insurance. That's why there's advertisements in 401ks, IRAs, because there's middlemen all over the place. There's no middlemen in Hex. And you think you sound smart, but it's not a good look. You will trick a lot of people because they don't know about legacy finance. They don't know about crypto. They don't know how it works. And just to be clear, I don't like your analogy about the ovens. Everyone in the village, they'll probably only own one oven. So you create a massive demand shock with the introduction of 1,000 other people. Hex's supply is not finite. It inflates. Your model of the oven did not account for that whatsoever. So imagine an oven manufacturer inside the town. The manufacturer trickles out 50 ovens a day. Also imagine that the people do business directly with the oven manufacturer. No middlemen. But also imagine you're on the holodeck in Star Trek, the USS Enterprise, and there is no overhead. You just press a button, boom, and pay the current price, and the oven appears. There are no workers. There's no electricity. There's no insurance. There's no taxes. But imagine that the population continues to grow. And as the population grows, the price and demand for ovens increases over time because ovens can only inflate at 3.69% of the total supply of ovens per year. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. But maybe you can make a video about what I just said. And that might be a little bit more accurate.
Hex's founder has repeatedly said how important it is for existing Hex investors to go out and recruit new investors to come into Hex.com.
Oh, really? Companies literally pay people to do that. They're called salespeople and marketing people. How does price go up? How does stock price go up? How does stock price go up? How does Bitcoin price go up? How does Ethereum price go up? How does Hex.com prices go up? How? Explain it to me.
As an investment. The problem is that Hex has absolutely zero product to speak of. Unlike other more legitimate crypto protocols like decentralized exchanges or lending markets, the only reason to buy the Hex token in the first place is to hope that the price increases.
Really? Really? Is that why that is? Is that why that is? What about meme coins? How many meme coins do you own? How many meme coins do you own? If you have a community, you can tokenize a community of like-minded people. That's what you got to understand about this. The utility is freedom. The utility is financial economic freedom. That's what this is. It literally incentivizes people to do the things and delay the gratification to allow price appreciation to occur. They're incentivized through the smart contract to do these things, these behaviors. That's what this is all about. It's brilliant. And you don't see it because you can't see past it. You can't see past it, and you won't see past it. Well, you might. I'm not going to say you won't. You might. I hope you do. We should have a live stream together. We should chop it up. But you probably won't do that either. Actually, I doubt you will. Let's keep going here.
The good news for Hex is at least for a little while, the price was increasing. That 11,500% was not a lie. But it's worth noting that this really isn't too hard to accomplish in the beginning stages of a protocol. When the market cap is low, the price can be manipulated relatively easily. The impressive thing about Hex isn't
he's so out of touch that he thinks that Hex's all-time high was 11,500%. That's how out of touch he was. 11,500%. And he's creating his entire, that's, what is that, a 115x? It's a 115x, bro. Done 9,400. We did like 10,000, almost 10,000. 10,000x. Definitely 10,000x with staking. You don't sound good here, man.
Isn't that they had this high price rise early, but that they were able to sustain it for so long. It certainly helps that the crypto markets in general were rising at this time, and more people have gotten interested in investing in crypto.
Okay, so it's because we were in a bull run. Good job. That's legit. You know what else? You know what else causes crypto price appreciation? Low liquidity. Low liquidity causes crypto price appreciation. Do you want me to explain to you why? Let's just talk about it. X times Y equals K. You've got 1,000 units of something times 1,000 units of something in a pool together, and you're trading against them. The USDC hex pair. Okay, 1,000 units on each side, right? And then somebody market dumps 500 units. What's that going to do to price? It's going to be violent in a big way. We've got very low liquidity. That's what low liquidity does. Now, imagine this. Imagine you got 1 million units on each side of that pool. 1 million units. Somebody market dumps 500. Is that going to affect price as much? No. It affects it severely to the downside, and it affects it violently to the upside too. But that's something you probably don't know about. But it is simple mathematics. You can Google AMMs. You can Google decentralized exchanges. You can learn about that. Or you can also go to hexsearch.io, and you can listen to everything Richard's ever said.
But a big part of it was that they also spent an insane amount of money on these advertising campaigns. But advertising and crypto markets alone aren't enough to explain this historic run-up in price. We are missing one very important part of the equation, which is the supply. You see, the two things that you can do with a HEX token once you buy them is either hold them or stake them. Staking your token involves locking them into a smart contract for a set period of time. And in return for locking them, you'll get extra HEX tokens at the end of that lockup period. What this is really doing is incentivizing HEX investors to take a supply of HEX tokens off of the market. With a smaller circulating supply of HEX tokens, but the same demand, the price of HEX will rise. As the prices grow higher, even more investors become attracted to HEX.
Guys, do you guys know what causes the price to rise? This is not a finite supply. It inflates. It's what person A is willing to buy it for over person B. Or person A buys it, person B buys it for higher. That's what makes price rise. And he's gonna try to make the argument that all these people who staked, they just unstaked and dumped everything. That's what caused this massive price depreciation. But you got to understand that inflation, that amount that comes back out, that's pushed well into the future. In fact, you can look at that chart. We are very, very transparent here. You can see that. And what you're talking about just doesn't make sense. In fact, HEX probably would have dumped more if we didn't have 10% of people staked.
HEX. This creates a positive feedback loop where the more tokens that get locked causes the price to go higher.
Really? This is a bad thing. He's saying that this is a bad thing. The more tokens that get locked, right? The people who are incentivized to get the inflation to protect price, it's a positive feedback loop. This is a bad thing, apparently.
Which causes more tokens to get locked, which causes the price to go higher. This positive feedback loop is what has allowed the price of the HEX token to rise to such enormously high levels.
This is the first thing that he said all day. Well, not the first, maybe the second thing he said truthful all day. And he's trying to spin it into a bad thing. This is how hard it is to watch. He's onto it. He's onto it, but he's about to FUD it. Watch.
This system has worked exactly as we would have expected for HEX. But there's one little problem. The staking mechanism that causes this positive feedback loop in the short run is by definition doomed to collapse in the long run. First of all, the rewards that are advertised for staking tokens are not actually rewards at all, but pure token inflation.
What? Pure token inflation? You get more HEX for staking? Now, what he doesn't say, 38% per year. That's kind of low. That's really low, actually. When you factor in price appreciation, whew, it's a lot easier to say 38% than millions of percent, right? Crazy. Isn't that wild? 38% per year. He also doesn't say that that's based on a 15-year stake. Doesn't talk about that either. Because I don't think he knows. Don't think he understands it. But he's going to frame this in such a way that freaks people out. If your bank didn't have overhead, your bank gets to charge as much interest as they want on the money that you deposit, do you think you could make more than 1.65% per year on your savings account? That's a question you should answer in one of your videos. There is no middleman. HEX inflation is divvied out to those people who delay their gratification the most. It's incentivized. The things that you're supposed to do with your life, you are incentivized to do with this.
This means that for every token being staked, rewards for that token are increasing the supply of HEX, causing the price to go down.
All right, let's listen to that again.
At all, but pure token inflation. This means that for every token being staked, rewards for that token are increasing the supply of HEX, causing the price to go down.
It pushes the inflation into the future. When you stake your HEX, it takes that out of supply. It takes it out of supply, and you don't get that inflation until you have finished your stake. It actually pumps. And because the market is so dynamic and so many people are participating in the market, you're thinking that everything happens at once and it's going to snap and break the system. And you say it's doomed to fail. It's doomed to implode. You have no understanding of how markets work.
So you're forced to hold HEX tokens in order to get more HEX tokens.
Oh.
But the increasing supply of these HEX tokens drives the overall price down, which means that the total value of the tokens that you...
Here's another fallacy. Nomics.com. You guys remember this? Remember when Nomics.com? Now, if you understand that market cap equals price times circulating supply. Nomics.com decreased that equation. They decreased the total supply by 75%. Let me ask you something. How come price didn't decrease when Nomics.com decreased the supply by the circulating supply by 75%? Why? Why? Shouldn't it decrease it? It's an equation. The math should work out. No. You know why? It has nothing to do with the equation. It has everything to do with what people are willing to pay for it. Don't you get that?
Tokens drives the overall price down, which means that the total value of the tokens that you hold plus the rewards doesn't even change. What's more, as these stakes expire, more and more of that locked supply is dumped back into the.
He says as stakes expire, more and more supply gets dumped back in, but he doesn't say that there are other people that are staking, removing that supply out. He's very tricky and he words it very well. I don't know if it's on purpose or he's just being this way. He's probably just being this way for clickbait, I guess. But again, the market is dynamic. It doesn't just do one thing at a time. It does many things it all at once. That's the cool thing about a free market. That's cool thing about decentralization, immutable code, no admin keys, things that are allowed to exist in a pure market form.
Circulating supply on the market. This supply increase causes more downward pressure on the price. If the amount of new investors in Hex coming in isn't enough to counteract this increase in the supply, the price will start to fall, which is exactly what we've seen starting last November.
Okay, so here we go. He said something truthful. It's all about getting new people to purchase your product or your service or your asset. That's why there is marketing. That's why it's all over the place. He said that truthfully. But then he goes to equate that he says that our price fall has to do with that fact. With the inflation, it is destroying price. That's what he's saying, which is factually incorrect. In fact, the inflation rate, I want to say it was like 1.1% last year. 1.1 something percent. I'd have to look that up. It was not 3.69%. The inflation is not what destroyed this. Have you looked at the crypto market at large? Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna actually pull this fact up right now. We'll go to TradingView. Let's take a look. Let's go to total crypto market cap for altcoins. Let's check that out. Altcoins. Total crypto market cap for altcoins is down 65 to 75% right now. That's everybody. And you're making it seem like a Hex thing. It's disingenuous. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops historically. Too much supply get minted with Bitcoin at the very beginning. Bitcoin had the highest amount of inflation. Was that the reason that Bitcoin crashed? No, it's because people weren't purchasing. People didn't have the asset. 2012, 42% down. 2012 also 56% drop. 2013, 32.7. 2013, 35.1. 2013, 82.6% drop. 2013, 49.9%. 2016, 86.9% drop. But Bitcoin's different than Hex. How? It's not really. A lot of key differences, but it's most similar to Hex is most similar to Bitcoin. 34% in 2017, 33% in 2017, 36.6%. 40%, 29%, 83.6% 2018, 60%, 51%. If you want to survive in this crypto world, volatility is the price that you're going to have to pay. And I'm talking to your users right now who you're trying to lie to and mislead, because this is an opportunity that they can really have and they can really do something with. They can really do something with this, guys. Maybe Bitcoin 5X next cycle. You think Hex is going to 5X after a 10,000X run, correcting 92%? But here's the funny part: does it correct 92% of all-time low? No, it corrects 92% from all-time high. So what does that actually mean? Well, let me talk about the coin that you've been shilling, Lido. We'll take this a step further. Your coin has never broken its all-time high. It's been down and to the right the entire time. Even with Hex correcting 92% from all-time high, it's still up 837% from all-time low. And you don't show that. You don't show that because you're not being honest with your people. And it's time to be honest with your people. Your viewers now get to understand your half-truths. By the way, Lido locks up your crypto in a non-immutable smart contract, issues you wrapped versions and contracts that have admin keys, and restricts your access to withdrawals. On top of that, they had major positions in Terra Luna. Ask them how the Terra Luna fiasco and the leveraged wrap versions affected them. You're encouraging your users to use third-party risk. With Hex, you give your crypto to no one. You give your keys to no one. That's the beauty of this. There is no counterparty risk. You say it's not hard to pump a protocol in the beginning. It's not hard to increase its market cap. You thought 11,500% was crazy. Oh, it's not that hard. Anybody can do it. Why didn't you tell your users about the 1,000,000% that Hex did? Because it didn't fit your narrative. If so, it would be easy to hit 1,000,000% on so many different protocols. It's so easy, right? You just frame it the way that you want to. You say rewards or token inflation? Of course. Do Bitcoin miners receive rewards for securing the Bitcoin network? Yes. This is the mechanism to release additional Bitcoin. What's the mechanism to release additional in Hex? You know what that is. It's staking. What's your fact-driven analysis of the fact that Hex is going to collapse? You don't have any. I'm teaching you how Hex works. Every time that someone stakes, it removes supply and it pushes the inflation event into the future. That the max that Hex can inflate is 3.69% per year. But it won't be that for the foreseeable future because there's so many stakes ending in the future. By the way, we are the most transparent protocol on the blockchain. We show you all future end stakes. We show you the best times to create stakes and for what time frames. For example, the inflation rate for last year was 15 years, 38%. The more people that get into this, the less that inflation is actually going to be. Because more people are going to be in the share pool. It's going to decrease the amount of 5.555 yield. 15 years. You don't know that because you didn't look at it. You didn't give us a fair shake. You didn't give us a fair shot. And now you're getting chopped up for it. In a way, I am sorry for you. You're probably a really good dude, and you're just going with the status quo, and you don't know any better. Or maybe not. Did the increase in supply of Bitcoin drive the price down? How many Bitcoin are there going to be? 21 million? 21 million Bitcoin? What's the Bitcoin inflation chart? Check that. Because inflation kills charts, right? That's what you're saying? Check it out here. Wow. That's pretty crazy. According to every Bitcoin chart that I've ever seen, the amount of inflation is inversely proportional to the monetary, to the price. You guys understand that? That's crazy. The best time to get in Bitcoin was when inflation was highest. Richard says that all the time, but you don't have to trust him. Go look at the charts. You know the ROI per 1 terahash? I think back in 2010, on a couple days there, between $30,000 and $400,000 just by you for 1 terahash. Just by you using your GPU. But the Bitcoin bros don't talk about that. You don't understand that about crypto, but we're here to talk to you about it. We're here to teach you about it. Let's check it out here.
Because the only reason that anybody wants to own Hex tokens in the first place is their value as an investment. It starts to become much, much harder to increase new investors to come in when they've seen just how poorly the price of Hex has done in the last few months.
What about anything else out there? What about anything else out there? This type of attitude, this is not sustainable, man. If you're going to stream like this, the internet's going to find you and they're going to call you out. These videos just don't go away. It's going to be brought back up in the future. It's just not the right thing to do here, man. It's not the right thing to do. It's actually disgusting. It gets you engagement. You got a YouTuber with a bigger follower count than you to talk about this, actually a very long time. But is that how you want to build things? Is that how you want to operate?
This is the reason why they're using a logarithmic scale instead of a normal scale on the chart on their website, because they're trying to hide the magnitude of the recent downturn in price.
Okay, I'm just going to say that is literally the reverse of what the truth is. The reason we use a logarithmic scale is so you can make sense of all the data that is not on a logarithmic scale. All you see is flat on the other scale. You can't see the rises and the falls. You can't see the massive amount of a price appreciation. You can't see it. And you're going to sit here and tell us that a 10,000x wasn't enough for you on a logarithmic scale? This is the proper way to make sense of the data. It's embarrassing, man. Completely embarrassing.
So there you have it. The economic model of Hex has played out exactly how we would have predicted from the beginning. And with schemes like this, once the price begins to fall, it becomes very, very hard to recover. If you are still on the fence about whether or not you want to invest in Hex, maybe the founder, Richard Hart, will be able to convince you. After all, he does have a lot of expensive clothes and watches, and he's nice enough to put the prices of all of them in every one of his Instagram posts. What's crazy to me is that all of his outfits are so ridiculously over the top, it's almost as if he's acting out some 10-year-old's fantasy of what a billionaire looks like. But that's kind of the point. He needs to be flashy in order to convince people that he's living the life. And he even said in an interview that he wouldn't be buying this stuff if it wasn't that people liked it so much. Although a few moments later in that same interview, he contradicts himself, saying that plebs like us don't like his fancy watches enough.
For fun, I went out wearing $3 million of watches. No one cared at all. I was like, man, what a waste. I'm taking all this risk for what? These people deserve nothing. It's like throwing pearls to swine.
But don't let the...
Okay. You know what he goes on to say right after that he cuts out? He says, I care about people. I care about what they care about. If they didn't care about this crap, I wouldn't care about this crap. I don't need overpriced luggage. I don't even leave the house that much. Let's see what he says.
Opulence fool you, Richard isn't even who he says he is. Richard Hart is not his real name. There's a great Twitter thread outlining Richard J. Schuler's past, including him being successfully sued for spam, but even more interestingly, about his dealings in Panama. Apparently, Richard J. Schuler was investigated by authorities in Panama for theft and extortion.
He didn't know. See, there it is again. You haven't looked it up. You found some random Twitter thread here that does not go into the details. Do you know what happened? Richard got screwed by the people that he trusted down there. That's what happened. That's the story. He was investigated because he got screwed in Panama. He couldn't trust anybody. People bust into his house friggin' 3 a.m., knocking down doors, trying to grab him, trying to steal his money. But you wouldn't know anything about that because you haven't looked into it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm going to say, dude. I think that you have the opportunity to turn this around and do the right thing. I think you have the opportunity. I would invite you in a very non-hostile way to come on stream with me, and I'll teach you about Hex. I'll teach you instead of you learning from people who don't know what they're talking about. That would be my offer to you. We don't even have to do it live. It's not about that. We'll do it offline. Do it offline. No cameras. The only thing that I ask is truth. That's what we look for here. We ask for truth. That's the bottom line. Let me close these things out here. Let me take a look at chat. I know y'all aren't doing anything friggin' productive in chat right now. You guys never do, especially not. Who else? Who's even around? Okay. Ooh la la. It's been a day. All right. All right. Let's go, man. This just doesn't stop right now. Oh my gosh, you guys are friggin' blowing up. Let's just start here. Foss says he's literally on his divorced dad's patio. Dude on the Trace show saying the same thing right now. So funny. Tis confusion. It's verified on Etherscan and Uptime. When he says, I know blockchain, he probably thinks having 0.000001 BCC knows the blockchain. Yeah. Crypto Allen, smile. Archie, yes, him. It's code, immutable code that you interact with, and it's verifiable. Verifiable as well. I'm out, y'all. That kid's raising my blood pressure. Jack Handy, be good. Hex teaching one-on-one. Absolutely. Bo cycle. So many ID transactions. It's a Bowflex cycle. He needs an audiobook, white paper reading. Anyone else feel the need to poke this kid in the eye? Listen, we got to be real about it. This is par for the course, folks. This is crypto Twitter. People throw shade. They clout steal all the time. I just think it's important to set the record straight. I don't even want to onboard you. I just want you to be honest and truthful about it. Just be honest and truthful. That's all I care about. If you got a question, be straight up about it. Don't lie to your people. Don't virtue signal to these other people who you think that you're going to get in good with if you trash Hex. So you can sit around a friggin' table and smoke cigars with these people and have them accept you. And he might not even be doing that yet, but that's coming. That's coming. He'll probably send that video to his Bitcoin bros when they bring him into the fold. Oven inflation. We have no advertising. No company, exactly. This kid's the most bucktooth. Well, there's thoughts. Ha ha ha. This kid just described supply and demand economics as a scam. It's rough. It's difficult. I know. Know how a Dutch oven works. Bad. Where's customer support? Ovens are expensive. So you guys like the oven stuff. Goes to this village, have Postmates. This video won't age well. This dude's a douche. He's even worth the time. Peace out, Rags. Everyone else here. Iron Hex, be good. Intro music reminds me of those movies I wasn't supposed to be watching 10 years ago. Good point, Hex is the way. I keep hearing so many say Hex Company. Correct. Toblerone, greetings. I found this Wiki Dutch. Oh, gosh. No, can't do it. Guy's definitely on the left side of the bell curve. He might be dead center. Ancient Cushionite. Ancient Cushionite. Imagine I bring my microwave. That guy made the Hex video inside the Hooven. My son is also 14. I tried to take him serious. My 12-year-old son could lap this guy. Well, this man's a genius. How to grow companies. Influencers ask others to buy Bitcoin all the time. I bought my house hoping the price would increase. Yeah, it's a scam. Your house is a scam. Bake your Hex. That is right. Laugh out loud. I buy Bitcoin and hope price goes down. Steak and bake. That kid's so soy. Rags Riches. When Hex is, I think Hex is the way is he's preparing right now. So whenever he's ready. Magnus snarls, he'll never do that. Okay. Oven sounds good. Who dumped ETH around the crash? Vitalik. 70. I saw in the interview, he said he convinced the Ethereum Foundation to dump 70,000 Ethereum. And he said it without batting an eye. Just like what he does. I think Richard piped up. I think he said something, well, name me a founder that doesn't dump on their people's heads. Ash says, what on earth am I watching here? Ash, you got to catch them all, bro. Too numb to understand brainwashed NPC. 38% average stake length for average stake length 6 years. Ginger Alpha, dishonest shillers. This is what cognitive dissonance looks like. This kid should stake some Hex and use the yield for speech impediment classes. Dude, get you some Hex right now, man. It's the best time to do it. It's playing out perfectly. I've seen thousands of charts, guys. This is how it works. We've got the best community. The spotlight is on us. Whether it be good or bad, this thing's going to pump hard. It's going to pump hard in the bull market, guys. Finn Bear says, I don't trust a guy with no beard. Hex is hard for plebs to understand. I'm just going to scroll down here. Is a cocky blockchain guy expert. He is a major fail, needs to take up gardening. If you guys like this, if you guys want me to do more of these, if you see some of these videos, send them to me, man. Send them to me and then ask him to go on stream with me. I'll go to stream with him. Hex is deflationary. Hex is the best performing asset. Furu alert. His mom needs to wipe his snot from his face. Breed Brandon Magnus Marson. His Hex videos has almost 8,000 views, the most by far of anything recent. Another scam video is 10K. Guys, be easy on the kid. I put the stuff in Twitter. Go talk to him. Direct message him. You can reach out to him. You can teach him. It doesn't have to be me. Hit him up. Be cool with him. Show him that we actually are a cool community, but we're not going to put up with stuff like this. We're going to address it just like anybody else would. We're going to address it. We want the truth. Let's have the truth. He's got like 500, followers on Twitter. I can't even type, so funny. Let's build another FUD Hex YouTube channel. How did Bitcoin do the last few months exactly? Hex in its infancy, BT Clownonomics. In infancy to BTC, Clownonomics. Okay. Let's keep going. He's obviously seen Richard's videos, yet he chose to say negative things about Richard. Notice nothing about raising 27 million. He won't talk about that. He will not talk about that. Love dating site. That got him in here. What is up, love dating site? Mod. Damn it, Terrafin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world. This guy's late. It's all been said before. It's a shame, though. I know. It's all been said before. It's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And there's an unlimited supply of these people online. But it is what it is. We're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Guys, here's what I'm going to say. You guys, you see this logo here, top right, okay? If you guys are interested, go to texan.cc, Crypto Heartbeat and I, and this is the Hex clone shill. Everybody likes to call us a Hex clone now. So here's who we are. That's our symbol. You'll see some people on Twitter flying around with this. Check us out, folks. We've partnered with the TNM, Texas Nationalist Movement. The entire point of this is to tokenize their community and try to get a referendum on the ballot for independence of Texas. That's the whole point. We have a donation period open right now. You can go to texan.cc/donate. Check it out. If the cause makes sense to you, go check it out. If it does not make sense to you, stay the hell away from what we're doing and go buy Hex. Very important, guys. Very, very important. If the cause makes sense to you, and it is a cause, this is actually what we're doing. This is why we are doing it. If it makes sense to you, go donate. If not, stay the hell away. There's a lot better options out there. If you guys liked this, go check us out at Texan_token on Twitter. Okay. Go check out hex.com. Go check out the FAQs. Go check out everything that I talked about here, because Hex is the basis. It is the reason why we are all here. 100%. Go check it out. Appreciate you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world. My name is Rags Riches. Do not comment. Do not like, comment, or subscribe. And your ginger man, unfortunately, is out.